Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. We are nearing the middle of the year. I always call June the middle. I think this video will actually go up at the start of July. I don't know my timings right now, but at the midst of a year, if you will, I like to do a little catch-up update. Here are my favourites so far for the year of 2025 in this case, and then at the end of the year we do a second one, which is the full-on roundup. Here is my favourites of the year, and we compare and contrast. So without further ado, let's hit the intro, get into it, because I'm going to do my top 3 shows of the year so far, I think, and my top 5 songs of the year so far, according to Spotify, which hopefully will not lie to me. But if you want to know what they are, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So let's talk theatre favourites so far. I'm going to start with my top 3 shows that I've enjoyed watching this year so far, because I've just sat and deliberated. So at the time of filming, which is in fact on the 17th of June, I have seen 17 shows, which isn't bad, isn't good. On average, I don't want to say how well or bad it is compared to different years. To be fair, I saw about 5 of those shows in May during my week off from work. So before that, I was like, I'm not even going to get close to last year's number. However, I decided to go and see a heck of a lot in a short space of time. So within my 17 shows, I have picked 3 favourites so far for the year. Let's talk about them quickly. So my first one is the first show I saw this year, which is The Importance of Being Earnest at the National Theatre. The cast were brilliant. I didn't really know anything going in, but I really enjoyed seeing the show. I do know it's going to the Noel Coward in the summer / autumn, after the comedy about spies finishes. I don't know if I shall return. I feel like it depends on who else they put out during casting, because the only person they've cast so far, or have announced so far should I say, is the person who is going to take over from Ncuti Gatwa, which is going to be Ollie Alexander. And yeah, I feel like if I go back, it's going to depend on what cast they put in it. Controversial, I know, because you should go for the show, not the people in it. But when I've already previously seen it, and I was going to say and spent a lot of money on the ticket, but I didn't actually purchase that one because it was a Christmas present, it has to kind of make sense that I want to go and see the show for the people who are in it, as I already know what's going to happen, if that makes sense. I'm not saying I'm not going to go and watch it again, but I don't know. Second one that I have put as part of my favourites so far is from February, when I watched Titanic. Now, controversially, in the comments for, I think it was the review I did for that show, there is a few saying that show was brilliant, it's amazing, or they'd seen different iterations. I think someone had even seen the Australian iteration, and there was so many like really happy positive comments, which never happens in my videos, in that I never really get comments. And then there is one that it always makes me tickle, because they're like, this is the worst show, what are you talking about? And I mean, as always, and in life, theatre and what people love is completely objective to each other person. even in my friend groups. For example, I truly love with all my heart the likes of Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I know people in my friend group who don't have the same opinions, and that is fine. We can still be friends. But I really enjoyed Titanic. It is silly. It is like, it's one you don't have to think about. It has the music of Celine Dion in it. The cast were amazing. Quite a few have moved on now and there is a new cast. I kind of want to go and watch it again with the new cast because they cast some of my favourite people that I just think would be absolutely excellent in the roles they've been put into. But yeah, really enjoyed Titanic. It's a one and done act show and you can't stop laughing. It's just really, really good. So that is why it's there in my top 3. Going from a really funny, upbeat show to the third of my 3, because the third of my 3, my favourites for the year, and I think this all comes down to the fact that it was a new experience, a new theatre, and I'd never experienced anything like it before, is the playing Shakespeare version of Macbeth at the Globe Theatre. Like I said, never been into the Globe before, not really experienced any Shakespeare since school, and it was just one of those experiences I shall never forget. The whole way that it was put together and the setting of it all, I thought it was really clever, and it's a great way to bring younger audiences into the likes of Shakespeare, to the point that since I saw Macbeth I've been seeing another Shakespeare play, this time in Stratford at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre, which I think is its name. Apologies if it's not, because it is hot and my brain has gone. And I also have plans to hopefully go and watch another Shakespeare show, possibly in the summertime. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, that is my top 3. A range, if you will. We've got a play with some funny moments, a musical play that has a lot of funny moments, and Macbeth. It's nice to have a bit of range. I feel like we didn't get that last year. So what you gonna do? And then the other half that I said I wanted to do was my top 5 songs of the year so far. So I'm just going to Spotify on my phone, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. So based on my on repeat playlist, which obviously changes as you go through the year and as you go through life. If you listen to a song a lot, it boosts it up. So top musical theatre song that I've listened to this year so far is The Moon and the Sea from Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It is one of about 3 that I have on repeat. Not to say that I don't listen to all of them, because I love the show. But there's something about The Moon and the Sea. It's one that before the cast recording was in existence and we only had the little tidbits, the little bits that they put out to go, you want to see this show, don't you? I was dying for them to put The Moon and the Sea into that collection, and they never did. So when the cast recording came out, that has been in my being and on repeat since that happened. Don't be surprised at the end of the year when we do the whole top songs that I've listened to, it will be there, probably quite high. Second highest is Roaring On from The Great Gatsby, which has come in thick and fast, should I say, because I only saw this show at the end of May. It is now mid-June and I have listened to it a lot for it to get up that high. Third on the list out of 5, sorry, I've just realised where this is going. Third on this list is Disappear from Dear Van Hansen. Again, before I saw the show, in April. I hadn't listened to that song. It was very much I'd listened to You Will Be Found and a little bit of Waving Through a Window, but I hadn't listened to a lot of it. But for some reason Disappear is up there, which is quite interesting. Fourth, unsurprisingly, is A Little Life. I'm surprised that is not higher up the list because, like I said, if I'm feeling really down in the dumps, I will put on that song and I'll be like, right, life is good, we can do this. And fifth, now fifth and sixth, I'm going to mention both of them because when I was listening to music on the way home, I was like, because this is where this idea came from, I was like, I wonder what would be in my top 5. And then my brain was like, imagine if it's for a show that when you saw it, it wasn't your favourite show and you were like, the music is alright, but I don't really think I'd listen to it again. Especially when I feel like when I did the review for the show, I talked about the song that is currently 6th highest on my on repeat playlist, with a kind of why is that a thing? Now I stand by those words. If I went to see the show blind again, I would still sit in my seat at the end of Act 1 and go, I'm sorry, what? Because 5th on the list is Men Are Trash, brackets the extended version, which just means it's the entirety of the song, including Patti LuPone. Because I feel like initially they just gave us a little bit of Men Are Trash. But if you are... if you're driving along, there's something about that song I'm just like, love it. 6th is the interlude in B minor. Now, like I said, when I saw the show and when I was talking about the music, I was very much a why does this song exist? But I can't stop listening to it now. Like, since they released the full album, with like all the songs in it, there's something about that song. It's just so catchy, I can't skip it either. It's one of those songs just like, I can't turn it over. I think the next one that would be like number 7, yeah, is On the App from Two Strangers, another song I cannot skip. And you very much, if you ever see me driving along, I'll probably be going, I don't think Rick the Dick Machine is actually his name. Oh, I love musical theatre, but some of my favourite songs apparently are interesting ones. I am very excited to see what happens at the end of this year in regards to what songs I have listened to the most. When you get that unwrapped or wrapped at the end of the year, it just makes me tickle every year because the numbers that they're like, you've listened to this song, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, have I? I always love Wrapped. It's one of my favourite things. And I also like to create my own Wrapped during the year in the plans to kind of shift the balance and make things not like, what do I want to say? I like to make my own like 2025 playlist throughout the year, thinking, haha, I'm going to scupper it, I'm going to ruin Spotify, and I'm going to have all my favourite songs that I constantly listen to on the same 2025 playlist, and then it comes to the end of the year and they do the 2025 Wrapped or the 2024 Wrapped, etc. And I'm like, okay, how have some of these made the list? It always tickles me. But there we go, my top 3 shows and my top apparently 7 songs. I only planned to do 5, but it just, when I came to the on repeat playlist, I had to share what had gone on. But there we go, let's see how these change maybe between now and the end of the year, because I love doing those like wrap up of the year videos in December going into January. But yeah, little chat about some of my favourites so far. So that is pretty much that. I'm going to leave you alone now because one, I have nothing else to say, and two, I'm quite warm sitting here and I actually need to go and get a drink before I dehydrate. So all that's left to say is the usual, which is thank you for watching, I love you all lots, and finally, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. Bye.